Jesus and his disciples are at Passover, which is a religious event which happens once a year for the Jews. As Jesus and his disciples are sitting back in his chair, Jesus says, "Truly I tell you, one of you will betray me, one who is eating with me." One of the disciples answers by saying, "Surely you don't mean me?" Jesus then replies by saying it is one of the 12, and that it would have been better for the betrayer not to be born. Later on, while they were eating, Jesus took bread, and when he had given thanks, he broke it and gave it to his disciples, saying, "Take it, this is my body." Then he took a cup, and when he had given thanks, he gave it to them, and they all drank from it. "This is my blood of the covenant, which is poured out for many," he said to them. "Truly, I tell you, I will not drink again from the fruit of the vine until the day that I drink it in the new kingdom of God." After the meal, Jesus took his disciples down to the Garden of Gethsemane. Jesus told them to sit down and guard while he prayed. Jesus cried out to God by saying, "Abba, Father," he said, "everything is possible for you. Take this cup from me, but not what I will, what you will." Jesus is so overwhelmed knowing that he will be crucified, and he cries and sweats tears of blood, showing that he's fully God and fully human. Jesus then goes back to his disciples to find them asleep. "Simon," he said to Peter, "are you asleep? Couldn't you keep watch for 1 hour? Watch and pray that you won't fall into temptation. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. Leave prayer asleep. Leave prayer asleep." Suddenly, Judas ran in with a bunch of guards and kissed Jesus on the cheek to show that it was him before Jesus was swiftly arrested. It's even recorded that Peter was swinging around his sword and struck a guard's ear. Jesus was put before the leaders of the land. They asked him, "Are you claiming to be the Son of God?" Jesus said yes. And the crowd went crazy for hearing this, because they thought he was blaspheming. They said he deserved to die and sent him off to the Roman rulers. But when Jesus was put in front of the rulers, they found nothing wrong with him. They even pulled him aside to ask him a series of questions, but they still couldn't find a reason that he was guilty. When he came back out and told the crowd that he was innocent, the crowd got louder and louder and screamed, "Crucify him! Crucify him!" They suggested to do a tradition where they would release one prisoner and kill the other. They brought out Barabbas, who was an evil thief, and put him next to the innocent Jesus. But the crowd still cried out, "Give us Barabbas! Kill Jesus!" And he thought there was nothing else he could do. Jesus was whipped and beaten up, and they jammed a crown of thorns on his head. He was forced to carry his massive wooden cross around Jerusalem before finally being strapped to the cross with nails in his hands and feet. The sky went dark for 3 hours. People shouted and mocked at him many times. One of the people getting crucified next to him said to remember him in his kingdom, while the other kept mocking him and saying that he was the Son of the God, so he should be able to get himself down. Then Jesus cries, "Father, into your hands I commend my spirit. It is finished." One of the guards watching him says, "Maybe this man really was the Son of God." Jesus' body is placed in a tomb by a huge heavy rock and guarded by some guards. After 3 days, some women come along to find Jesus' body, not in his tomb, his stone rolling away, and an angel stood right there. "He is alive, go tell the others."